So thank you all for showing up for our first in the Groomers chair. Depending on how everybody likes it and how many people end up getting, questions asked and going through everything, we're hoping that this is something that you guys want us to do on a fairly regular basis. So let us know how that is. Obviously, if there are questions, because we do have, and I'm sorry, I end up pointing this way because on my screen, that's the window that Anna's at, but obviously all the screens are slightly different. So the thing is that if that is completely the wrong way to point for your screen, I apologize. But at least we have a live model that Anna has there. And oh, cheeky, who is very cheeky. Um, I'm in Vancouver, BC, Canada. So I have Animal Haven Grooming School, brick and mortar school. We also have obviously the Informed Groomer and my salon. I just don't have to work today, so I was really lucky and I got to stay home where Anna is still at the salon. So you can see everybody working over there. Um, if there is anything, you guys have multiple choices, okay? You can either unmute yourself and ask away because right now we still have a fairly small room. We have a lot of different things to help hopefully answer all those questions. I kept giggling because I kept making sure that when I was saying, ask away your groomer questions, because I was like, if I don't, we're gonna have life discussions, obviously, but we're gonna try and keep it to the grooming realm. And then, like I said, we're really fortunate because Anna is in salon, so there's lots of things that she can grab and show us depending on what your questions are. So also just to let you guys know, because we figured it out yesterday, if you scroll to the bottom of your screen, like right at the very bottom, when your cursor rolls over it, a little menu pops up that's along the bottom. One of the things here is a heart that says react. And if you click that, it gives you all different emojis, but it also gives you a raise your hand. And so if you click that, then we also know that you want to answer or ask a question. And so you're more than welcome to click that as well, just so we, make sure that we get to everybody's questions. So that is there just so that you have that as well. So if I think we did our lovely little intro and all of that. So if you guys have your questions, feel free. If not, trust me, there's lots that I will always go over because there is far too much stuff rolling around in this brain of useless dog trivia that I will always share with everybody around me. So if you have a question, please go
Oh,
for.
let me go grab her collar, Sheila.
Oh, see, the last dog of the afternoon is going home for Anna.
Here.
It's always good. If you guys ever have a chance, because we do a lot of seminars with Anna in Minnesota, her facility is super cute. And the thing is that the way that the salon layout is, you're only getting like a really small window of it. They have a really lovely setup, and they also have like this whole other area that we do seminars and everything at. It's really lovely. I love her salon. Like I said, you guys are only getting my kitchen at this point because I was too lazy to go into the salon to film there. I thought this would be a lot quieter. So, but if you guys, so just to start it off, if everybody's going to be shy, I am not, never have been, never will be. I am going to show you guys some things because what kills me, when I see people out and about is that they will purchase wrong scissors for themselves. And I think you guys should all have the right scissors to fit your hands. So basically, if you look at this, these shears here, so this is what we call even set, this one, and this is offset. Now, these are both short shank. You can actually see how incredibly short the shank is. So from the bolt to the tang. Um, but wow, they're hairdresser scissors. So I was hoping nobody would look at the bottom part.
I'm
But
gonna grab scissors.
these are fine because Darcy
Okay.
just brought them out because they were ones that he had here. Super
Okay.
cute though. But so there are two different shear types. And again, even set and offset. And then your shanks end up being different lengths. Like if I end up looking at, it's funny because these shears, oh my goodness, they're in lockdown. These shears, and slightly fuzzy. Okay, let's get rid of the hair. You don't need that. Okay, so these are 10-inch shears. These happen to be Kenchi Vipers. Oh my goodness. So if you look, these are extreme offset, and I would say those are about a regular shank. And just so that you have comparison, right? If we line up those bolts, this is quite a bit smaller in shank than this one, but those are offset. And then obviously even set are when they're even this way, right? So there's offset. You can see a huge offset. And then if you look on these, they're really, really level, right? And so those are the differences. Now, if you have not gone through and figured out what your handset type is, it's really, really, really important. If you have favorite shears at your salon, sorry, I'm putting these shears away and I'm just staring down doing it. If you don't have the shears that fit your hand correctly, then what ends up happening is you get massive hand fatigue as you're scissoring throughout the day. So the thing is like me personally, my hand set is an even set, right? Now I have big old bear paws because what you guys can't tell is that I'm 6'2". Um, so I have big old bear paws. And it's really funny because these are, first of all, hairdressing scissors. But when I hold these shears, you can see, hang on, you can see the stretch that I get up these shears where our bolt is right there, right? Like the end of our shank is right there. So this is too short for me. But the thing is, if I go into something that is longer, you can see even though I have the stretch in these fingers here, these fit my hand. So you might be going, okay, well, nobody's ever told me what my hand set type is. What is that? It's fabulous. Now, so when you end up doing this to your hand, what you want to do is then take a flat surface. And do you see if I have my hand out like this and right at the top of my palm, the line that is created, do you see where my thumb is below that line? So that's going to tell you that you are even set. If your thumb is above this line, then you're most likely going to be offset. Now, if you, yeah, right, if you have that. So, Katrina, put your hand up again. So with Katrina's hand, if she were to put a comb, so do you see, no, you have to do it even. And then even. So see how her thumb is above basically the top of her palm. She is offset. Okay. Now, if you're like, I still am not sure, and I have stared at my hand, then there is one. Anna, do you have your book available? Out of
I
all the things I have in front of me, I don't have your book.
I don't either. I asked my husband to bring it up because I was trying to get out of the house this morning and yelling at child. Um,
And you're so if that didn't work, and Anna she's the one that actually taught me all this. So Anna has a great book, Scissors Up, and it actually has the handprints. Now your handprints in the book, they do sort of do one of these, don't they?
yeah,
Like,
so it's a hand, it's a silhouette. I'm asking Kent to bring it up.
because I was going to say, I don't think I have a copy here.
Uh,
Everything.
all right. So it's a silhouette of the hand, and what I did was I fit scissors to hands, and then I took that hand and traced it and wrote what handset fit that hand. And then when I started correlating all the handprints, I noticed there was a trend. So that's where the even set, offset, short shank offset came in. So what I did is on the book, there's a handprint and there's a silhouette, and you line your hand up in the print, and then there's an arrow where you line up the crook of your thumb onto the the handprint, and that tells you what scissor you need. And some people fall that in between, so they can do well with an offset or an equal set, or an offset or a short shank offset. Some people are that gray zone where they are lucky and they can do both.
Yes.
Um, I can do an equal set if it's a shorter shank equal set. Like Michelle's scissors, my hand looks at them and runs the other way. I can't do it.
See, whereas with
So
Katrina's, with that extreme offset, I'm like, this is not going to happen. This is not going to happen. So, does everybody that's clicked in so far, do you guys know what hand type you are? Do you, or scissor, like offset or even set? Do you guys know? If you don't, even if you're like, no, I can't right now, just like, even if you're not in screen, just put your
yeah,
hand
I'm a
up.
regular shank offset.
Because, okay, so Helen, you look like you are offset, but you have a little bit of give. So you can actually sort of go a little in between both, but your hand is set for offset. So there, you again, you have a little bit of wiggle, but the thing is your hand would be happier in the offset shears, right? And so that's something that would help you. Now, if you think about all the scissors that you have in your salon, that might be where you're like, yeah, actually, my favorites are. Sorry, it doesn't give your name. It just says Zoom user. Put your hand the other way.
She's
You
a short shank.
you
What?
are definitely an offset. That's what I read your hand as. So what you want to do, samesies, you want to make sure that when you look at your scissors, that they are that slight, right? Like if you look even, it's the slight offset. Even would be here and offset here. So you will find your hand will fatigue less when you have scissors that look like that, right? So it's because the thing is that a lot of people they will go, "Oh, what shears do you use? Like what scissors do you use? Because I really like the finish that you got." And while a completely valid question, it's not what like okay, these are kenchis, right? It's not just because it's kenchi that makes it. It has to, while this is important and lovely, this is your skill set. This is something that is immutable to you. You cannot change that. You need to have the right shear fit to your hand. And so again, there's always a little bit of wiggle room. It's not this uh, hard and fast rule. Anna's book does a great job of with those handprints. And it's cute. It's like when you were in kindergarten and you had to do the handprint to
And
draw the
turkeys.
turkey. That's what it is. And so you can line it up. Honestly, I truly believe, and I'm not trying to like out anybody of who sells shears. I truly don't understand where somebody would sell you a pair of shears that, could be really, really expensive and not know how to measure your hand to make sure that those fit for you at any given time. Like when somebody goes, "Oh, well, what scissors do you use, Michelle?" And I'm like, "Well, I had, other than about 15 years where Guibe went a little downhill, I'm normally a Guibe girl because most of Guibe's scissors are even set and a medium to a long shank, so they fit my hand." But the thing is if I said that to Katrina, who is more of a smaller to regular shank and offset, and so she went out and got the Guibe scissors that were even, it wouldn't do her a hill of beans, right? So that's where knowing that is really important. And if I can save your hands, when I see and do polls where groomers are like, "Oh, I've only managed to groom for 2 or 3 years and I already have all these issues," oh, it makes my heart hurt. And so the thing is that I want to make sure that you guys have all of that. Um,
Guess who just showed up? Our knight in shining armor.
oh, there you go. Hey, darling.
Hi.
Really.
So yeah,
Okay.
right.
The
It's
other thing, though, that I've noticed with the manufacturers and scissor companies are doing is they're doing their flippers. So they're making scissors equal set with shorter shanks.
yeah,
So they can market them as flippers, so you can use them either way. Or they're arguing, there's one scissor company I was having a discussion with that they were saying that their scissors work for left-handed people also, either or. And it was like, it doesn't work that way. You can't make the edge work that way. And she's like, yes, we can. And I'm like, I can't, I don't get it.
that's not how that works.
It is not. So Okay. So this is one is what? Short shank offset. Yeah. So this is designed so you can just take your hand and place it over there. And it tells you exactly what scissor. There's an example of your short shank offset. This is a regular shank offset, which is my hand. That's my happy. And then, oopsie, to the equal set. But can you see where the position of the thumb is different? So the farther down, like when Michelle does that, I'm looking, she looks up here, I look down here to see how far down the thumb rests on the hand. So the higher the thumb is on your hand, the shorter the shank you need. The lower your thumb is, the longer shank you need. Does that make sense?
And ultimately, it's as long as you guys have shears that don't fatigue your hand and don't put stress, then it's all good. But I have literally been at uh, big conferences, and somebody will have just spent hundreds of dollars on a pair of shears, and then they'll be like, "What kind of handset do I have?" And I'm like, "Not for those scissors that you just spent a lot of money on." And so it always, like I said, I'm always here to be like, "No, no, 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 don't fatigue your hand," right? Like that's like the worst thing that we can do for you. And then, oh, sorry, I didn't. There we go. Last one.
Well, and if you know what your handset is and what you should do before you go scissor shopping is ask yourself, what do I need that scissor to do before you even go shopping? It's like, what am I looking for? And then you can go to the vendors, eliminate half of the scissors because it's a wrong handset, and then you can focus on what scissors are good for you. So be a
Francis, you had a.
smart.
Oh,
Is
sorry.
there is there any red flags or green flags you look for in when looking for shears where it's like, oh, I'm definitely not gonna get that just because this, or it's like, oh, the quality's nice, so I'm gonna get this. Is there anything you should avoid or look for when you're shopping?
I look for Rockwell, and
That's it.
if
So
it
Rockwell
go ahead.
hardness is what she's
Yes.
talking about.
The Rockwell is a number of how hard that blade is. So if it's got a lower Rockwell number, you can put a dip in the edge of that scissor just by hitting a hard whisker. It's not going to hold up. So some of the scissors that are $30, $40, they don't have the alloys in them to make them hard. And so they are very fragile. They're not going to stand up very well. That's why I said before you go shopping, figure out what you need that scissor to do. So if you're looking, um, let me find my Rockwell chart here.
And you see in
Oh,
this one,
chart.
it's just too shiny. I don't think you can see it. A lot of different manufacturers will stamp the Rockwell hardness right on the shank.
The good ones will.
Yes.
Or they'll put on, let's see, Japanese stainless steel, or if it's a 440 or 442 stainless, this is a 440C stainless, which means it's a good shear. It's a good stainless. It's going to hold its edge. What is this little one? This is a
Yeah,
$30 scissors, but I love them.
I'm all the shears that Darcy left here. I'm looking through to see if they're stamped with their Rockwell hardness. I know
I
that
grabbed my scissors.
I know that the last time I looked, all the fairly good quality guide ones are stamped because I
Yeah.
think my All Americans are stamped at a 63, if 62 or 63.
I go for 60 and higher,
Yeah.
just because 60 tends to be they hold their edges longer. It's a better quality steel. You get into your 50s, it's not going to hold up as much. You get into your 64s and higher, they become really expensive because to keep them from becoming brittle, then they have to add certain alloys to make that steel stronger instead of brittle. So that's where your really expensive alloys like tungsten and all that stuff come into play.
And the thing is that when you have a good Rockwell hardness, it's one of those things that they survive droppability, Francis, and they also end up right. They'll live through your sharpener if you have a good sharpener a lot longer. I have those all Americans that I have seriously are like 25, 30 years. Oh God, don't make me give a birth date on those. I become very old when that happens. But those
Oh,
all-American, all-American, Guy All-Americans,
yep. Oh, I've got some old
those,
katanas. Uh, these are, nope, those aren't my oldest ones.
oh, I'm not saying oldest. No, we're not doing that, Anna. Don't you dare.
I've had these probably for 15 years. But like she said, if you've got a good sharpener, they're you don't get the wear down.
Is
So
everybody
good
thrilled with
sharpener.
their sharpeners? Oh, come on. I can get some of you to at least ask questions, get into the chat, or unmute with that one. Come on, who's
Sharpeners, the bane of our existence. You gotta love them or hate them. They're
So with does everybody love their sharpeners? I have to say that because I married my sharpener. So or as my friends love to
uh,
tease, I married my drug dealer. That is my sharpener. He
no,
does
you
wonders.
gotta love them because if you don't, okay, how I look at sharpeners is you want to be friends with them because they will treat you right. If you treat them right, it's reciprocal. If you give them blades that are icky, dirty, full of poo, they're not going to be your friends. If you give them scissors that are crusted and full of hair, they're not going to be your friend. So take care of your stuff, they take care of you. And then give them cookies or booze. You know, it all depends on your sharpener. You want them to be happy
Well,
because
and this is the thing, like you have to go through there are a few people in this group right now that can tell you that the amount of sass through no words, only looks that Darcy gives, who is my sharpener, that gives when you abuse your scissors, I call it his angry alpaca look because all you get is this. It's like his surly Elvis look when you give him stuff and you're like, no, it's all good. Come on, you don't mind, do you? And
so
that tends to be one of those things.
I went down to visit my sharpener one day and there is a paper towel sitting next to the ultrasonic. I said, "Oh, what's in there?" And the guy was like, "Don't look. Don't look." And I opened it up and I actually put it in the blade book. It was so bad, of what not to do. And it's like, why do you do, why? And he's like, no, this happens all the time.
Yeah.
And so unfortunately, a lot of sharpeners are dropping groomers because they are not taking care of their stuff. And they're sending, I wonder if we can do this. You see the poopy blade? Poop. It's like, no, we don't do that. So don't
Yeah.
do that.
If you want to keep your sharpener happy, definitely clean your stuff. Like at least force them out. If you go to the dollar store and you get like literally a paintbrush that's like inch wide, like to do trim or whatever, and really coarse bristle, use that to clean it out, not your slicker. Oh my goodness, you want to see a sharpener get really angry? Take your slicker and clean a blade off. They lose their minds. So yeah, if you go to the dollar store, get that paintbrush and it works wonders. I know that my sharpener before my husband, she was hilarious because one day, I guess because she would drop off blades off at the salon, she saw me using a slicker and she was like, Michelle, you can't do that. And then the next day she came back, she's like, I got you this paintbrush from the dollar store. And she's like, I'm sorry I yelled at you. And I'm like, oh, if that's your version of yelling, honey, I'll take that any day of the week.
Funny.
So yeah, so that's with those. So as long as everybody knows their hand type, then we have that. And obviously the other thing, just because again, I don't ever want to see you guys hurt, is that when you have your scissors in your hand, your thumb is barely through there, right? You don't want your thumb shoved right through because the thing is that as you look here, can you see how you can literally see my tendons coming down and then all the pressure that's in here? We never want to force anything. When you are scissoring, it should sit light as a feather. You have a lovely hug coming through on this, and all you're doing, right? If you look here, that's where your movement comes from. So your movement doesn't come from this joint. It actually comes from this joint way back here. And all you want to do is open and close. And this part of your hand, so see how it's only my thumb that's going, right? Not this side of your hand. And if you have that and you can do all of like, right, you know how to scissor properly where your thumb is not doing that, then you're never going to end up having a carpal tunnel syndrome. And it just makes it so that you can survive in our industry for as long as you want to be here, right? I know that ends up being a big thing, but it's something so simple that you can fix. And in your book too, Annie, you have a bunch of exercises as well in
Yes.
the back of it. Yes, I knew
Yep.
she did.
So to help get the proper thumb placement, you can take just a glove, cut something off, and then
Using your
put,
shears to do that.
I use my cheap $30 shears, yes. Nobody loves those. I do. So you put the finger over the thumb, or you can use a finger cut. I call it safe scissoring. What it does is it forces you not to put your thumb into the hole. And it gives you that muscle memory to know I'm trying to figure this out because I'm upside down backwards. Okay. So it forces you just to learn where your thumb goes right there.
See,
And
and
then,
normally we put a Band-Aid there. I like that idea better though.
yep, nope, just I cut a finger off or I get finger cuts.
And do you
See,
see how with Anna, where she's holding her shears, that she has that beautiful hug on there? What we never ever do, I see it all the time, and it literally gives me the heebie-jeebies. People will point when they're scissoring. That's how you get your finger cut off, just so you know. Like pointing is probably, oh, it literally gives me the shakes. Like, oh gosh, you're gonna cut your finger
you
off.
want you want to be able to hold your scissor without your thumb in the thumb hole. That's because when you scissor on the top, I'm also not a fan of a lot of inserts because I want flexibility when I scissor. Because if I'm scissoring on a top line and I'm going down, I have to move my scissor to accommodate a leg, a side, or whatever. I need to have that flexibility in order to do what I need to do. So having all these finger inserts, that they love to shove in, some of the manufacturers, drives me crazy because I don't have that flexibility and I can't move. Some of them are too big and
On
yes, I do need them, but
Yeah, depending on, I was just looking through the different sort of options, is that now granted these are coded, right? So these ones are coded.
right.
But you'll find that as you get more advanced with your scissoring, you won't have anything in there. You won't have like, well, these are super tiny, but
So
you,
these are super huge and these are not.
yeah, right? Like there just will be a time where you just don't have them. And honestly, I once the metal is warmed up, I don't I think it's fine the way it is. So that was a bit about shears. I'm just gonna start going through and start answer like if you guys come on now, you gotta ask your questions.
Are there any questions?
Anna, Anna,
Yeah.
what's your book called, by the way?
Oh, scissors up. Let me do that.
Okay.
And
The
then,
thing
of
is,
course,
we'll throw that link into the chat just so you guys have that. Because we were good. Yes. Oh, right. And blades too. I know because she actually teased me one day and she sent a picture of a bunch of clipper combs. And then
yes,
we're
me.
like, this is what I'm going to use. And I'm like,
Did that on purpose. It's like fingernails on a chalkboard for her.
It's
Attachment
funny, and I
comb.
say that, and yet there you go. I very rarely will use snap-on combs because I just do it with scissors. And so the running sort of joke in the industry, if you've ever had to do a seminar or anything with me, is that people will grab clipper combs and I'll be like, let's do it with scissors instead because I just prefer that. But the thing is they are handy. I know the reason that we have, well, specifically the 1 inch, the 7/8 and the 3 3/4 is because I am really bad. Anna, please back me up and tell me I'm not the only one. I will scissor a leg and a client will be like, oh yeah, like, because I'm really lucky. My clients love tons of coat. But they'll be like, but I don't want it longer than an inch. And I'm like, I got you, fam. It's all good. And then shortly, probably within 2 visits, it's at 2 inches and then it's at 3 inches. And now the dog is dripping in coat. And they're like, I thought we discussed 1 inch on the legs. And I was like, yeah, you did, but I have preferences. So,
I had a poodle client that wanted high waters, really high shaved feet. And so I would lower them every visit. And then after about 3 or 4 visits, I would put them back up. And it's like, they caught me. So yeah, I use attachment combs to set a length and then I can go through and scissor.
yes. No, and I have
That's,
to too, because I'm naughty. I leave them
that's
too long. I do. I can't help it. It's but the thing is that know that if you're going to use any kind of clipper comb, whether it's these that go on the 5-in-1s or the, oh God, the wall one. Sorry, I was trying not to do brand names, but like, the ones
yeah,
with the slide back that go on your regular big working clippers, whichever ones that you use, as long as you scissor after, because you have to have that finished look, right? Now the thing is that if you guys, now show of hands, because I can already tell that we have people from a little bit of everywhere, is that do you guys use your force dryer and your stand dryer together at the same time?
because you told me to.
Yeah. So, for anybody who didn't answer that question, yes, I do. Why don't you? That's what I want to know. It's so funny. I've traveled the world. I've competed. I've taught, judged, all of it. Traveled the world. Not all Americans, sorry, not trying to call anybody out, but Americans are really bad for not using them together. And I find it fascinating. And the thing is that I have known it and noticed it in Europe as well. So the thing is that you'll have a force by the tub and you'll get rid of that. And then there's only two options that I sort of end up seeing, is that you'll have another force near your table or only I find that a lot of people don't use stand dryers, but if you use the two of them together, I guarantee you I can cut down your dry time in half if you use your force and your stand together in the same spots. Because your force dryer will blow your hair straight, and your um, stand dryer will dry it in that capacity. And if you use it together, it'll go super, super fast. So if you're not like, doesn't everybody do that? Then try it. Even if you don't believe me, if you don't do it and you don't believe me, but you have the ability to have a stand dryer and a force dryer, if you want to shave, cut down your drying in half. In half, I guarantee it. Like Michelle Stamp guarantee you will cut your dry time in half if you use a stand and a force together. 100%. We've timed it. I've done it.
It, it also helps with dogs who have dryer phobias because they've got the soft air coming from the force dryer. And then if you turn down the velocity of the of your HV dryer and turn that down, you've got softer pressure going on the dog on both sides. They're not as freaked out and they're more willing to be dried instead of freaking out, being upset, peeing, biting, or doing whatever, because we want them to be happy and not upset when they're with us. And so we have to reduce their stress level. And the force dryer, along with your stand dryer, surprisingly does that. It cuts down the stress.
Anna, if anybody here, we did put the link up for your book, but it says not available in Canada. But if somebody contacts you directly,
Contact me directly because right now the books right now are only through me direct. I don't have an outlet for them yet.
okay. Just so I hadn't, we wanted to make sure we hadn't screwed that part up.
Oh,
I can't
Amazon
believe
has them, but I don't distribute through them.
Yeah.
I can't believe you'll give us such a huge discount. Wow, thanks, Anna.
Sure, catch.
It just honestly, like, I'm not trying to come across like we're just pushing Anna's book. It just honestly, the information in it is fabulous. And I often like we've actually taken the pages out of the spiral binding and we've put them in the like the plastic sleeves, and all of our students that come through have to have their hand tested, because then when, like, for my school, we test everybody's hand and then we order in scissors, shears just for them for their hand type so that they always have that going forward. And it's one of those things that really makes sure that they have that ability to be just safe with your hand type. There is a lot of things that way where you just have to, right? Like being in our industry, because we're unregulated, because there's so many people that just don't think that we're, I don't know, they think we play with puppies and kittens all day. It's one where I think if we bring each other up and we build each other up in knowledge, sharing those knowledges and the things that work and the things that save your body, it just makes you a better, happier groomer throughout. Because if you're in pain, right, because you're putting too much stress or the wrong kind of stress on your hand, you're not going to stay in our industry long. And the thing is that your pain ultimately is something that is the animals on your table are going to pick up, whether it's because you're in a bad mood because you're in pain, or any of those things. And so if we're happy and we're thrilled and we're not in pain, then the thing is that it's just a better day, right? So that's why I push that so hard. And again, I love your book, Anna, so I I will always do that.
Well, I wanted us to work smarter, not harder, and I wanted to find a way to be smart shoppers and not be taken advantage of by a lot of scissor companies because they're unscrupulous. Um, they all they want is to sell their high-end scissors. They don't care. They'll sell you the wrong edge for the wrong, if you want to do a really heavy coat, they'll make you buy a really convex edge because that'll leave a really pretty finish. When a really thick coat, you need a beveled edge. But they wanted to sell you the more expensive scissor and not the one that's the right one for the coat. So I just saw too many people being taken advantage of, and I was tired of my sharpener getting yelled at. And it wasn't, it just kind of happened. So that's why the books are there. But I wanted us to be educated and to have the answers to the questions.
Yes.
So
No, and that's the thing. And again, I don't want anybody to think that we're just like trying to push that. I have to say, for me, one of the hardest things, like, I love going to different groomer seminars and seeing how they think and how they process things, and I just love that. But I'm not a fan of going to something and then them just being like, and don't tell when I do this, first of all, I'm not trying to call out this one particular company. I'll actually turn it around. But the thing is, they're like, and all I use is, and I'm like, okay, come on. Like, we're all around the world. It's all different companies. Yes, there's obviously things that we always use. But when they're like, no, no, I'm going to teach you something, but product placement, like, that's where I'm always like,
because they're paying me to do this.
exactly. So yeah. So please don't think it's like that. It's just that I just want everybody's hands to be good and safe. So what's the next thing that we're going to go on to? What burning questions do you guys have? Like, is it how to talk to your bosses? Is it I want to open my own salon? How do I go about doing that? Is it, oh my goodness, why is it always, oh my, what is that? Plum silky. Why is that the thing that always rots my skin off? Like, what are your questions? Because we can answer them, I swear to goodness. Tracy posted.
If
Oh,
if you get a brand new client in
yeah.
and they don't know what they want, they don't have a reference picture or anything, they just like groom my dog. And it's like you can kind of ask them like their lifestyle so you can make it more fit. So if they're going rock climbing, it's like, oh, you probably do a certain way. But like, I don't know what I want. How do you approach that conversation? Do you show them pictures or how do you do that?
Well, and again, I kind of end up showing my age with this one, because I'm sure that with the younger set and the tech savvier set than I do have a big old-fashioned photo album with all the printed out photos in it because it's easy for people to flip through. I also, depending on breeds, I have breed books like the Poodle Reference. Oh gosh, what is it? The Poodle Reference book. The reference, yeah. Right? Isn't that what it's the I'm trying to think of the lady that does it. And it has all 150.
Oh.
I literally I can picture it, but do you think I can come up with it? Anyways, and it has all of the 150 trims. But what I start off first is by looking at the animal. What kind of coat am I dealing with? If I'm dealing with fur, then we're like, well, we're going to blow that out. Obviously, fur, we don't want to scissor that because it can damage it. Right now, that being said, you do you. I have very hard lines in the sand of fur, but we would know what that is. If you had a terrier type coat, then I would talk to them about stripping if they're interested in that, right? Like, first of all, you have to get it into the coat types. And then after that, I would end up being like, if you had, right, what do we see in our salon? Our doodles, our Shih Tzus, right? Like all those sort of things, is that then I would be going, okay, are you guys out hiking a lot? Because, or doodle, am I looking at the dog and going, oh, bless, this is already matted quite badly, then I'm going to suggest maybe a four blade on the body and a 3/4-ish type length on the legs that I'll make sure that I'm honest with. Is this the right one? I never, sorry, I don't, this one. Isn't that 3/4 purple?
Probably.
Sure. But yeah, asking a
It
lot
is.
of questions, it's like, or if they say, I want my dog to look like a schnauzer, it's like, okay, so you want the long eyebrows? Do you want this? And they say no. So then I'll pull up a picture of a schnauzer and say, this is what I see when you say more like a schnauzer. Is this what you are expecting? Oh, no. So having a visual reference, asking a bunch of questions, being specific, especially on ears and tails, because some people have really hard lines about ears and tails or eyelashes. Don't get me
Oh,
started on eyelashes. Um, if
I
they
think
don't
we
say
could have a
it,
whole webinar just on fighting people about eyelashes. Don't keep them. That's the answer. It's always the answer. As a vet, I was a vet tech for 7 years. And do you know eyelashes kept is probably the biggest starting point of damaged dogs' eyeballs is eyelashes left. In my salon, we have a no eyelash policy. And so when somebody comes in, but I love them, and I'm like, that's nice, they're gone.
as a terrier, I'm plucking those eyelashes right off.
Like I'm just not doing it. But anyways, so for like literally, Francis, that's where I would look at what your coat type is, what they're already, when they come into you, you can already start to look and see what they are struggling with. So if they're already struggling with matting, if they're already struggling with impacted coat, like in whatever capacity, maybe it's a terrier that's like completely blown, we would um go through and take a look at that. Yeah, no, eyelashes damage because very much like our own, they grow the really long and then as they shed out, they go and scratch the cornea. And the thing is because it's trapped in the coat that's around them, you end up getting corneal scratches. And so a lot of people really don't like they didn't understand what caused the damage to the eye in the first place. And we at the vet clinic were always like, yeah, no, because you've got these massive eyelash like right they're so long as they're shedding out they're literally scratching. um
Hand up. I see a hand up.
go for
Uh,
it, love.
yeah, I didn't want it to interrupt. So, but if you are like cutting out the eyebrows, I'm like talking about schnauzers, of course. So, but if you're like cutting out the eyebrows, like just keeping the longer ones like in the middle, but then here's like totally open and the eyelashes are going out, and like always, of course, trimming, like do not letting them go like crazy, like a butterfly or something like that. Is it is that okay, or you still need to kind of like cut it out totally?
Eyelashes on a schnauzer need to go.
No.
And
The
so I tend
eyebrows,
to just
but the
hold,
eyelashes.
yeah, like I tend to hold all the coat away, like on a schnauzer. I'm going to use my own bangs here. I would hold that coat out of the way, and then literally I would have this on a 30 and just do a light little tap up. Like basically make them blink into it, and then you're safe with your eyes. Trust me, you because and all the coat is out of the way. But the thing is that then you can get that. Now, oh look at Anna has her.
I got this is Hans.
She has the best props.
So I just pulled him out of a bag because he was in Texas. But what Michelle is saying is you lift that eye up and then you can get in here, but it's really tight through here and you can bring that down. But you want to clean up underneath in here so they can see. And those little hairs are the ones that cause the damage. So you lift up the eyebrow, pluck, pull, trim,
Oh,
and then
those are, yeah, I was talking more about those like from the like literally like hair corners.
Yeah, no,
uh
and
Yeah.
just lift that whole eyebrow out of the way, and then you can get at the eyelashes.
I mean, I'm not that I'm wanting to. I was just wondering how long I could keep to like not damage the dog.
Well,
well, if you
unfortunately,
like them, oh, if you like them, yeah. Oh, it's any length can cause damage of an eyelash. Poodles are prone to have their eyelids roll, and so the eyelashes kind of roll into the eye and cause damage that way. Um, so on poodles, you got to be really careful making sure you don't leave eyelashes because of the entropia and the rolling. Um, but terriers, they because the I think terrier eyelashes release more frequently because the whole coat releases on a regular basis. They're more the eyelash shedding is likely to cause more damage more frequently. Does that make sense? Did I?
Totally, thank you. I just probably need to keep an eye on that as well. Because I mean, usually if I see like the something is going out, I'm like taking it out instantly. There's like no questions asked. But if
Yeah,
it's like still like properly, then it's fine. But yeah, like not crazy.
yeah. No, there's some that come in and it's I've lost a client because eyelashes got trimmed by mistake. I mean, the woman was sobbing in the lobby over eyelashes, and her husband was like, "Really? It's just eyelashes." Never saw him again.
oh, see, and I would have trained that right from the beginning.
Oh no, she was a particular person.
Oh my goodness. Well, and I can't comment. I'm particular too. So Tracy had a question, and I've been racking my brain trying to come up with different ones. But I bet Anna's better at it than me. Looking at starting a home salon, what would you recommend for the best books to pre-read?
Oh, uh, there's a lot of books on the market. There's some of them like Problems to Profits, which I think is so outdated now, but a lot of companies still use that as a go-to. But I think the business models are outdated. Just going to regular business classes, doing online classes, like a small business, a lot of community colleges have classes where they can help you with a small business setup. And that's basically what you're doing, making sure you have um, your taxes and financial obligations all in a row. A home salon has to be separate from the household. So at a home-based salon, the salon pays the household rent and it pays the household a portion for the utilities. So if you could have two separate bills for utilities for the house and then the salon, that would be ideal. But, your home-based salon has to pay the household expenses because they're two separate entities. They can't be one. So, when you pay your electric bill, it can't be, well, the whole house is, whatever, because when you come down to taxes, 20% of that electric bill was for the grooming salon. So that has to be accounted for. You know, you can't mix and match, and there has to be a door. You shut the door to the business and then you're home.
Yeah.
And
And the
yeah,
thing is, like, so she's saying, like, the right, she has the separate garage. I have one student, oh my goodness, she turned her garage into the cutest salon. Like, it is seriously the cutest salon. She does really, really well. Paid for that house is completely paid off, and she bought another one because of how well the salon did at the house. Um, I'm not 100% sure. Gosh, I should be better at this. Is that if you go to the Informed Groomers website, so theinformedgroomer.com, in the business, I'm pretty sure we have a business video up, and it does go into sort of doing some of your base budgeting. I know we also had that up. Oh gosh, I want to say it was in our Instagram that we had some stuff because it also did budgeting sheets and numbers, and we do have that. If you were a member for the Informed Groomer, we have a whole business section because we've done both business and confidence classes for opening up your own place, and it has all of that. And I'm just trying to, because we have those videos, I'm just trying to remember which we have open to the public and which is in our membership, and I just didn't want to screw it up. But definitely check on the website, Tracy, just because I think that there is stuff there that will help. In regards to insurance and things like that, you are going to have to obviously, whoever does your car or house insurance, like in Canada, that's the same person for the most part, your house and car insurance. And so the thing is if you talk to them, they'll tell you what riders and things that you have to have as add-ons, because you'll have to up your liability. And again, depending on your country, or even like for us, provinces, America, states, you have different things that you have to work on that your municipality, city, state, province,
where
right?
you're zoned for it.
Yeah.
And some
Um,
neighborhoods, like gated communities, you're not allowed. So,
Yes. So just
you
make
know,
sure with your municipality that they allow what you want to get done first and foremost. And what I actually just did a class on last week is whoever you talk to at your city hall, write it down. Get them to write their name. Like say, "Oh, can you print? That's fabulous. Thank you so much for letting me know. Can you print that out on a piece of paper where it says my address and I can? And can you just sign that at the bottom, please?" And that way, if anything were to go sideways, you have somebody to come back to, right? Like and say, well, this is what it was. Obviously, though you're in the city hall, once you have approval, you're also going to end up having to have a business license. So that is, once you have your business license, that's the stamp that says I'm allowed to be here and it's all good. As like I think Anna is 100% correct. Like I can't think of a specific book that isn't potentially outdated, simply because within the last decade and a half, things have changed so dramatically and quickly. So you're looking at like how we would once uh oh God, what do you call that? Like even advertise, right? Now it's so online based and word of mouth. So that's something that you always have to look at as well. The But if you're planning on having staff, me personally, and again, it's only me personally, Anna can tell you what her side is as well, because I love this topic. I prefer to tell everybody to go hourly in the beginning. So if you are new, I always say go hourly, because if you are going out hourly, you are not being rushed. You know that you are getting paid. You are not worrying that, like, right, if you're worried about your speed or any of those things, if you're being paid hourly, you're safer. If you are working on commission where you have to buck out dogs, really, really fast, then the thing is the potential for damage to happen to said dogs, it raises greatly. And for me personally, it's always the animal safety first, then the groomers, then the salon, right? Like in stages. And so that is the only thing. If you have somebody, like if you're hiring, depending on your country, if it's certified master groomer or even a groomer with some certifications, then the thing is you might go, or they might be like, I'm happier on commission, and then base it off commission. But just know that if you are getting paid via commission, if somebody just says, well, we do 50% commission, That's can be horrible or it can be fabulous because it depends on what the salon rates are, right? If you have a salon rate where the minimum dog is going out at $95 or 62 pounds or like how whatever your currency is, if that's a higher amount, then a 50% commission is fabulous. But a 50% commission on a $30 dog is not good math. So that's where you have to figure that out, whether you want to work in commission or hourly based. But when it comes to safety and being new in the industry, that's where I would push you more towards an hourly. So yeah. And then as we are, Anna, you're nodding, so thankfully you agree.
I do. It takes the pressure off. And like you said, if somebody feels that they're rushed and if they're on a commission, that's where injuries happen. Dogs get nicked, toenails are too short, dogs are stressed because you're stressed. Um, it makes for a safer environment. And that's what, somebody gives us charge of their heart dog, that means the world to them, and they entrust us to take care of their pets for them. So that's what we have to do. We may not like the dog, but we got to treat them like they are our own personal dogs. It's like, how would I want somebody to treat my dog? So that's how I look at it. And I got a stinky doodle sitting at my feet right now. He
Well,
came
and
in
then
and said hi, and I'm like, oh, dude.
And Dima I'm hoping I'm saying that right. Dima had a question. How do I improve my skills in face shaping? Any links or recommended pages or tips? On the Informed Groomer YouTube, we have a cute, can go on anything. We call it a daisy. A lot of people call it a teddy bear. What, you know the face I'm talking about, Anna. What do you guys call it? Do you call it a teddy bear?
I just call it a round face,
Round face.
but my rule of thumb is um symmetry or balance. So I look at it as you have your eyes. Oh, where's my dog?
That's straight.
Okay. So it's okay, it's a terrier, but imagine. So I measure from eyes, you want the same distance from the eyes to the top of the head, from the eyes to the chin. So it's one big circle. And then eyes to the nose. You want everything to be in balance.
And
That way,
if you 100%, and then the only thing is that if you have clients that have ear issues, funky ears, anything like that, from the corner of the eye down here, so I'm missing the beard, but I'm coming down here. So whatever blade I'm using on their body, I'll take that out here so that when their ears fall forward, they still have airflow through, and you will clean up any slightly funky ear issue really fast if you just take the Irish bar fighter cheeks out. You know what I mean? Like, and it's just using that same blade and go from the corner of the eye and take that out. And then if they're a little pudgy like me, then it makes them not have a double chin. And then you still have the beard to work with. And so, like Anna was saying, if I can do this, sorry, gosh, it shows you how I don't have symmetry in my face, but that's what she's talking about, right? Is getting those crosshairs and then going from there. But yeah, we do have what we call a daisy, a round face, a teddy bear. They're all really, really similar. We have those up on the Informed Groomer, not only on .com, but on YouTube, free access for you guys so that you have those. Also, if you groom along with it, you'll find that it speeds up your time, and you can literally put it on your cell phone. Like I have a pop socket, and so I just set it on the side, and then you can watch while you groom and groom along. So there's a lot there that makes it really simple. So hopefully that helps. Links or recommendations, well, you've got those ones. I'm trying to think where there might be really cute. Gosh, sorry. I am trying desperately. Can you find the YouTube link so that they don't have to go searching for that? We're throwing some links up, so sorry. I was just trying to get those going for you. So Dima, we will have links in there for you. So hopefully that answered that. Sorry, guys. I know we've gone over, and if you're going to be patient with us, Anna might have to skedaddle because she got clients, and I promised her I wouldn't keep her here forever. But you see, I'm sitting in my kitchen, and so as long as you're willing to answer the questions, I always will. And it's like, I got doodles to do, man.
Got a stinky doodle and then a Yorkie named Steve.
Oh, fun, fun. Steve the
Steve. Yeah,
um
yeah, he
Steve's
fits. It fits. So
Now, I think one of this, if I'm reading it right, what do you think about staging or staging? Okay, schnauzers, maybe other double coats as well. I'm focusing on schnauzers. Have you done it? Yes. If is that one of our free ones? Sorry.
Have a daisy head on YouTube.
oh,
Yes, we
okay.
do. I know we
You
do.
don't?
We do.
That-
Sorry.
yeah.
Of course, you can see me talking off. We do have it. I will find it because I know it's there. I would do it
This
on.
is my opinion on staging.
Okay, you
If
do
I'm
that.
show grooming, yes. If I'm pet grooming and pet stripping, I don't stage. But if it's a show groom, yes. But that's my opinion.
I I have to say I end every stripped one I have, I stage. Um, okay, to be fair, some of my clients are show clients, so they are going for confirmation, right? So I will, and if they're going down to the States where they're where it went weird, where they are trying to hit like so many shows within a like a circuit of shows, then those guys, they really like it staged like to perfection so that when they're hitting all the shows, the coat is perfect. And then they get about 16 weeks of loveliness. Otherwise, my companion dogs that are stripped, they are continual rotation. Like I see them every 6 weeks. I strip out what's there. So they always look fresh from the salon. There's not the ton of shedding. It's just because I'm keeping all those rotations in. So there, for me, it's a time and a place of what the people are going for. If you are doing it so that you have a certification dog, a competition dog for showing, whether it's in conformation class or grooming competitions, then I'm all about the staging. It really depends on what you're going for, right? If it's your personal schnauzer and you're like, well, I just always want it to look fabulous, then I think I would go more on keeping all those rotations so it always looks just absolutely, perfect, so that I could use it as an advertising for my grooming, right? Because it just always looks perfect. But if I have something really specific where I'm like, no, I'm going to go down and I'm going to compete in the States and I'm going to do all these different things, then yeah, I'm staging a coat because I need that to look just tickety boo. So yeah, it just kind of depends. Obviously, I use the word, but it's kind of morphed. Even in my clippering of a schnauzer, I will stage to a certain degree, as in I will use longer blades to give me the looks that I'm going for to hide a high rear or maybe a little bit of a double bump cheek, like schnauzers that are a bit pudgy, or maybe a neck that isn't quite what it should be. Then I'll use my blade lengths to stage. Um, if you get
So
what I'm going for.
somebody did ask the question, what is staging?
So ultimately, hang on for just a second. You
So what
would
I'm
think I
gonna
would have
do
printed this
with
out.
that is I'm gonna have to boogie out because I got a stinky doodle.
I expect halfway through that you have to come back and be like, oh
Here's
gosh,
my
dang
stinky
it.
boy. Oh no. Do you care? Nope, he doesn't care.
He's like, you make no never mind to me. Hang on. I
He's
am
a model dog, so he does commercials, and so he can't be bothered.
okay, so
All right, everybody. Thank you.
thank you, thank you,
Thank
thank
you.
you,
I'm
Anna.
gonna leave. Miss you.
I am okay, because we always have to let her work. Sorry, I have exactly what you are looking for. I am just trying to find the picture, my love. So I'm not, as I look down for what is staging, I just, of course, I have 1,000 books, but do you think any of them are right beside me? So sorry, I was just looking to see staging, and my computer won't let me because we're on a Zoom and it's being recorded. It won't let me show the picture. I have a drawing that shows what staging is, which is So when you think of the main jacket of a Schnauzer, it is one of those where when you look from the crest and the occiput all the way down and through the main jacket, that would be one level of staging. The next level would be right coming down the side. And as we get closer down the shoulders, depending on the conformation of the dog, is what we would stage. So we would have some areas that are longer and some areas that are shorter. If and all it's doing is using optical illusion through coat that you would strip out at different times. So when I'm originally staging a Schnauzer, I might see it every week for like 4 weeks. And that's where I would pull out the coat, the jacket at different layers in where the dog has strengths and weaknesses. So where it has strengths, I want to show it off. And where it has weaknesses, I want to hide it. And so when we stage a Schnauzer, it's literally just, like, ooh, we're a little bum high. So we're going to make that coat a little shorter, but we're going to leave around it a little bit fuller to sort of give that optical illusion, because sometimes a soft top line can sort of make a bum look high, or we're just bum high and it might, so you'd have more coat on the top line so that when you're looking at it in profile, it's lovely and straight. But really, if you were to put your hands on it, or your comb, like my favorite thing is to put a comb on the dog's back. And if you're like, ooh, or if it's really dipped underneath, right? Then that's a soft top line. And then of course, every time, because I can't stop myself, I think it was my English mother, where I would go, and the old gray mare just ain't what she used to be, right? When you have that soft top line. So it's going through. So that staging, hopefully that makes sense in how I described it. And like I said, I'm just frustrated that I can't pull up the picture that I have, because I do have one that perfectly describes it. The thing is that, and again, I don't want to come across as that human, but if you guys are interested, we have all of this information, photos, videos, a private Facebook group, if you're a member of the Informed Groomer. So you would get all of these. You would have access to Anna, myself, Stuart, all of our groomers around the world, instantly in your time zone, in our private forum, and we have all the downloads, all the videos, all of that there. And like I said, I'm the parts where I'm not remembering what is in all of our free references for you guys. But I want to say that the Schnauzer and the Cairn Terrier for staging is in there. At least they're around and about. So there are those things that are there. Thank you. Hourly rate, depending on your country. So sorry, I'm just scrolling through the questions, trying to answer them quickly. If you are looking at an hourly rate for a groomer, so in my area, which is West Coast Canada, a starting wage, even though our minimum wage is 15 something. Oh gosh, sorry, I don't know the exact number. But so if you have that idea that, Francis, honey, do you know what our minimum wage is? Yeah, no, me neither.
I think
It
it's
changes all
17,
the time,
18
so
now.
I never know exactly what it is. It's like $15, $16.
1740.
Oh, so I was way off.
Exactly.
So 1740 is our current minimum wage. So with that in mind, most of our groomers brand new out of school starting, we're sort of seeing that 19 to $20 mark is what we're seeing in our industry, in our area. And so the thing is that, like, for me, for my staff that is hourly based, I literally go off what certifications they're working towards, because obviously as a brick and mortar school, we really value that in showing our staff, right, that's what we go towards. And then so every time one of my staff members hits one of those goals, automatic raises. I tend to be that sort that, like, if you do something as one of my staffers that I didn't have to think about, or like you just took care of it and I was like, oh my goodness, that made my life so much simpler. All that noise in my background, I will apologize. My Great Dane is trying to get comfy in her bed and she loves to make noise. So I will apologize right now for that. But so, yeah, so that's where you kind of start to see it. I myself certified master groomer in 2 different countries under 3 different organizations is that if I were to go out and start asking, I would probably start with 75% commission, or if I was going to do hourly, I probably wouldn't leave my salon for or get out of bed for under 35, but dollars an hour. But I can also by myself with no bather buck out 14 dogs in a day. So it really it's just different and it's what you want and it's what you want to have. And again, countries and areas are obviously very different, right? So, but if you see where our minimum wage is to where what we're seeing our groomers start at on average. Now, that being said, I have talked to a lot of groomers that come into my salon with some base experience, and I am honestly kind of horrified with sort of those rates that they are talking about what they are earning because it just, Francis, that picture is in your book. The picture about staging, it's in your book, sorry. Is that it horrifies me that people are paid minimum wage and then treated like dirt. Like you should love your bathers, you should love your dry, like, somebody who's doing all your prep work or your newbie groomers, you should be lifting them up and absolutely loving on them in all ways. And that includes, obviously their pay, because the thing is that other than making sure that they show up and do all the things that you guys have agreed upon, is that if you don't build up the next group that's coming in, how can you expect these grand things for your salon, right? You want to build them up. You want to know that they're appreciated. You want to be able to offer them continuing education, because not only does it make them better groomers, it makes your salon that much better. So by not having that, it's just setting you up, right? So you're literally, by investing in your new groomers, you're investing in yourself. So I will always be for that. So hopefully that answered that question. Sorry, highlighting body more by hair removal, like makeup. Yes, okay, yeah. How much to be a member? Where are you? So the informed groomer, sorry, I'm just scrolling down the list of questions. So you can see that Katrina put the link for the informed groomer. It is $25 a month Canadian. And so if you're in America, what is it? America, in the UK, depending on what your price point is, it'll be actually quite a bit less. And that has all the different things. And like, seriously, there's so much information in there. You'll love it. So hopefully that helps you and you guys got the link. With the Australian dollar, Tracy, I'm pretty sure that your dollar is only slightly under ours. Like I think the last time I looked at it, which was about a week and a half ago, it was our dollar, I think was 92, 93 cents of yours. So just so you know that, but just
25 Canadian,
yes.
so it'd be 27 Australian.
It's 27 Australian, I'm being told. So woohoo. So yeah, so that you have that. And again, everybody's in different time zones. So if you have a question and you ask it in our private forum, you also have 100% access. Like our membership, like anybody in the membership will tell you, if you have a question, if I am in salon, I will literally film it right there and get you your, what do you call that? A video of how to do or answer your question. Like we're really awesome that way. So is that invoice for tax? You would be able to use it as a write-off if that's what you mean. I don't know what.
No tax after it's 25 even.
Yeah, it's 25 even
Take that
from
back.
us, if that's what that means. Sorry.
And
I want
and a write-off.
and a write-off, right? Because the thing is that your salon, or like if it's your salon, it would be a write-off. If you were working for a salon, they might even take that and write that off. And so yeah, so that always has. Oh, there you go. See, she's got a lovely video for staging. Awesome sauce. So there's one that you can check out for staging. Have you ever seen the gentleman that strips the schnauzers in Quebec that does all the amazing, intricate designs in their stripping? I can't think of his name right now, but he is amazing if you check that out. So he's in Quebec, Canada. I'm pretty sure it would be an easy search, but oh my goodness, like he literally did flames down his schnauzer's body and stripped it out. It was stunning. I definitely would take a look at that. Yeah, we all want all the write-offs. Sorry, as I was going through and looking. I am a big fan of anything that I can can write off, I will. And it's funny because we actually ended up just getting new pants to try out for our staffers. And even though they totally didn't work on the repelling of the hair, everybody's like, well, they're really comfortable just to hang out in. So yeah, it's always a good thing. So hopefully that answers. Did I miss any questions? Sorry, I'm just going through. I want to make sure that I don't. I know we've totally run over, and I love that you guys
I
have.
think there's one about competitions.
Oh,
It
where,
says,
where,
how do
where?
you find grooming competitions? Love to watch them. Certain naming online of part of dog shows. Tracy asked it.
Okay, so Tracy, depending, okay, so you're in Australia. I will have to ask. I've got a student who is in Australia, and they are, I'm trying to think of where they are. I will have to ask. Yep, groomer to groomer, 100%. There is also in the UK, they have well, crufts for competition, as in confirmation. They have those all listed. In the States, groomer to groomer has a ton. In Canada, it is mastergroom.com, and I believe that they do filming on theirs. So it just depends on where in the world you want to see them. And the thing is that I have to say the Americans are absolutely fabulous for posting a lot of their competitions online. And Groomer TV, that's another one that does the competitions online. Now, as I say that, is Groomer TV groomer to groomer? Like, is that one of their subsections? I think it might be. That's the only thing I'm not 100% on. But they have those as well. And so it's definitely one of the pieces where, like, Groomer TV, like, you literally can log in and watch the competitions going on. Like, they literally have a cameraman that's doing all of that. So those are really fun to watch, especially if you can't be there. And I know that, like for me, one of the shows that we have really close is West Coast Groom Fest, and they were doing live with theirs as well. The Japanese are. I have some of the most amazing grooming books that are in Japanese, and so I've actually had students that translate them for me. We've got both Japanese, Korean ones that are just so skookum and so awesome to watch. Like, if we were in the salon right now, I would be pulling them all out and being like, look at this, look at this. I love those ones. So now, just, I know that some of you, at least you're getting live in the chats, and I really appreciate that. And for everybody who kept their camera on, oh my goodness, I love you, love you, love you. Because like I said, I did one set of webinars where it was all just black, and I was, well, I understand, because I'm actually, I know it doesn't look like it, but I'm actually like quite the introvert, is that it's really hard to teach when you're just staring at black screens. So I appreciate you guys for that. If you guys are like, that was fabulous, and really want it, we are happy to do this like every right scheduled. Um, Tracy's like, too bad it's early in the morning and I'm not putting on my camera. I totally get it. Is that if you guys enjoyed it and got something out of it and all of that, we'll do it on a regular basis and bring in different groomers from around the world to answer questions as well. We just didn't know if there would be a want for it, because we always giggle. Groomers, when you get them in a coffee shop, fabulous, or in a grooming salon, fabulous to chat and go, but get them on a computer and it's a little bit different. So we just wanted to make sure that it was something you guys might want, because then we will put them out and you guys will see them. You are on our mailing list, so you will always get the info, right? Like, so usually with our mailing list, just so you guys know, twice a month we do free videos to YouTube, and we'll post those and send you guys the link. Any of the webinars that we're doing, if you don't want to be a member, then we have our webinars and you can purchase those. But if you are a member, so most of our webinars are $20 Canadian. And then the thing is that if you are a member, you get all of that free, or like within your membership. You don't have to pay extra for those. And everything that you guys like you're always getting the first scenes, you're always getting all the previews and all of that as members for TIG. So you have that as well. But like, again, I get everybody has different budgets and different things that they want. So that's where we have those three things that we are able to get you guys. It's all our free content on the YouTube, on our theinformedgroomer.com, and our socials, right? Instagram, Facebook, all those. So those are the different options. And then, like I said, as soon as we know when we can do the next one, what I really wanted to do, you guys will absolutely love him. If you don't already know him, Stuart Simons, he is probably one of the funniest guys out there and a great groomer. He has 2 salons in the UK and he's absolutely amazing. And he is in Spain right now, so he didn't have the Wi-Fi to come and join us. But if we do another one, then we'll see him there. So hopefully that is something that you guys want to see, because we would happily bring it to you. We also, Stuart has podcasts that my Great Dane is the loudest girl in the world. I don't know if you guys can actually hear that, but she's really loud. But anyway, sorry. So having him in any capacity is always so entertaining. He is like the funniest guy. And
Here, let's see if I can do this. Hold on. Maybe now.
that is my Great Dane. Here's the thing, let her out. You guys want to see, we were trying to keep it quiet. It's the end now, so it doesn't matter. But it's one of those things. Pico? Pico. She's like, no, I have all the love. So, oh my goodness. Okay. Pico, not the pussycat. That's my Great Dane. That's the one causing all the noise and the problems, because she is the goofiest of girls. And now you will see all of the tail and the ears go by. But yeah, so that's, I really, really appreciate all of you guys here. I am so happy that even though we're in different times and different everything, you guys joined us. I am so thankful. If you guys have any questions, you can always reach out on any of our socials. If you guys send messages through there, I will always, like, right as once they come in, Katrina, myself, we're always covering and watching all of those. We have and yeah, that's both Instagram and Facebook. So, and then anybody who leaves a comment in YouTube, will always try and respond to those. So yeah, please post link about the scissors. Did we?
Yeah, Anna said to contact her directly.
Anna said contact her directly for the book, because she has them in her salon, and it's Anna Hawks, like the bird, HAWKS. If you have any problems finding her, then just let me know and we'll get you information.
I did post the link to like the Google book, but it doesn't go anywhere, it just kind of shows you the book. So that's Anna said.
So Katrina also has, because you're on mute, Katrina also has put the link in there as well. But like I said, you can contact Anna directly. And if you can't find her on Facebook, then the thing is just get a hold of me and we will make sure that we connect you guys. So thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Oh my goodness, I'm so happy. And then we'll go from there. Yeah, email as well, obviously. Yep, we can do that. And figure anything out. And if you guys have questions, we're always here for you, because education is the best and it's investing in yourself. So always do that in whatever capacity that is. Okay. Love you guys. Thank you so much for coming. And we will have the recording somewhere. I'll figure it out. I will. It's techie, but I'll do it. Thank you guys. Have a great one.
Okay. Thank you.